Hello, my name is The Analyzer, and this is my first ever video. And today we'll be talking about the Season 3 Invincible finale, I Thought You Never Shut Up. In the opening moments of this episode, we see Mark and Conquest starting a fight right after the other Invincible variants had just invaded. In the first few minutes of this encounter, Conquest is cooking Mark and takes him to the ground, telling him that unlike other Viltrumites who would tell Mark about the greatness he could bring to Viltrum, he would do no such thing and just wants to fight Mark. Right after that, him and Mark start fighting again, with Conquest praising Mark's skills. There's then this suspicious scene with them fighting in space, with Conquest becoming a freakazoid and blowing a bubble of blood and making it into a heart. We then cut to Oliver saying he would go help Mark. And while Mark and Conquest are fighting, Oliver is on his way to save the day. Oliver then gets slammed to the ground instantly, but Mark comes and saves Oliver, telling Oliver to leave, but he refuses. Conquest gets mad at this since Mark is not acting like a true Viltrumite, and he starts beating up Mark, but Mark then counters and pulls up a Street Fighter combo, but Conquest catches his hand. We then cut to Cecile getting mad at Sinclair because he can't make the new Reanimin while there is destruction happening all around. Next, we go to Adam Eve with her parents complaining about Conquest and Invincible fighting. Adam Eve awakens and wants to go help Invincible, announcing that that's Mark, and her parents find out. She also gets mad at the nurses for trying to keep her in the hospital. Next, we then cut back to Conquest, and Conquest is absolutely cooking Mark and talking trash about Omni-Man, with Oliver then coming back and telling Mark that they can win, but Mark tells him to leave. Oliver then gets beat up and almost split into two, with Mark barely being able to stop Conquest. Right after this, Mark is grabbed and thrown into the ocean, being skipped around like a pebble. And then he's grabbed again and thrown into civilians, almost like the time when Omni-Man threw Mark into the train. Adam Eve then comes fighting, but Mark does not want Eve to get hurt, and getting distracted, this causes him to get his leg broken. Eve then becomes Iron Man, trying to fight Conquest, but Conquest hits a Mortal Kombat finisher and breaks Adam Eve's face and puts a hole in his stomach. Mark starts crying, telling her to stay alive. We then see an interesting point in this episode with Mark asking Cecil, saying he needs him. But at the beginning of the season, Mark said that he did not need Cecil and never wanted to see him again. Mark proceeds to then crash out, re-engaging in the fight against Conquest, where Mark would then break Conquest's robotic arm, while Mark also broke his arm in the process. Eve then comes back to life by going Super Saiyan, but Mark and Conquest do not see this. There's then also another very interesting point in this episode, with Conquest telling Mark on how lonely he truly is because he's a victim to his own success, since other Viltrumites are afraid of him because of his capabilities. Conquest is then about to end Mark, but Eve comes in with a Kamehameha. Though Conquest did not die, but he is severely injured and all of his skin was destroyed, and you can only see his muscle. Once Conquest gets back up, Invincible then starts beating up Conquest, but Conquest then breaks Mark's hand, causing Mark to start headbutting Conquest, ending up with him dying. We then cut back to Mark in the hospital, waking up, remembering everything that happened, and asks Eve how she was alive. She then explains to Mark that she can do many things with her powers, but she has mental blocks, causing her not to be able to use her powers to her full potential. We then cut back to Sinclair, who's starting to work harder on making the Reanimin, so he can help next time there's more threats like this. Mark is then visited by Yves Saint Laurent, Paul, and his mom, with her saying on how sorry she was for encouraging the powers. We then cut to Mark seeing Conquest's body and telling Cecil to burn it, and he says, indeed, right after they go to Rex's funeral, where they honor and remember him with Rudy taking Rex's name. Mark and Eve then go back to have some personal time, and lastly, right before the episode ends, we see many villains for the next season, Battle Beast coming back, Angstrom being remade, and that Conquest's body was not burned and instead was put into a secret prison where Cecil wants to investigate him. I just want to say thank you. This is my first video. I hope y'all enjoy it.